Next up, we are going to be going through understanding your dashboard. So this is going to be once you have purchased your domain, once you have purchased your hosting, what exactly does everything mean on there? And then after we understand that, we'll then move on to connecting the two together to then go ahead to actually edit the WordPress site. So first of all is going to be the domain. You're going to have your domain hosted. Whoever you're hosting from is going to have a management button for this, whether it be manage name servers, manage DNS, and basically we want to get ourselves to that area. So on SeekerHost, you have the action button, which will take you to your domain area where you can basically edit stuff. Now, basically all hosts will vary a little bit. What you do get on the most part is the fact that you have a domain lock, which you keep locked once you've changed anything. You unlock to change anything, and then you lock back up after you're done. You also have auto renew depending on your host, which means that after the first year, it will try to auto renew using the same payment method. I do suggest having this, especially if you're going to be having this long term, so you don't lose the domain. You can have your contact information, and then more importantly, we have our name servers and DNS management. If we head over to name servers now, quick explanation, this is how you connect your domain to your hosting. You start up your hosting by buying a hosting package, which we'll show you in just a second, and then you use the name servers that they provide you to input them into the name server option of your domain. Once they are matching, so the name servers on your domain are matching the ones provided by your WordPress hosting, the connection will then be made. You also have DNS management, which is something you really shouldn't have to worry about at this point, because it's just going to be a case of changing the name servers or adding the default name servers if you got your hosting and your domain from the same place. Here you can add different stuff like A records, the MX mail records, but we won't really go into this because we won't really need to use this. Now again, for your hosting, once you have got yourself hosted, which we will also go through how to do, you're going to get a few choices depending on your hosting. Again, it might be using cPanel. For instance, I'm now using SeekerHost, which has like an inbuilt unique way of doing it, which isn't cPanel. It's a lot easier to understand. It gives you all your main options on your right from your WordPress plugins, your backups, disk space, SSL, email, and subscriptions. If you want to change anything, you also get your name server information and other information about your WordPress site. Of course, all hosts will differ, so the information will be slightly different. However, you will tend to have it all on one page just so you can see about your WordPress site in case you need to change anything on it. With cPanel, it's going to look a little bit different to this. You're going to get a lot more options. Primarily, we're going to be using exactly the same ones for this. So now that we understand and we've seen a little bit more about the dashboards for both WordPress hosting and the domain hosting, let's actually move on to how to connect these both together. So at this point, we've researched the domain, you got the domain that you wanted, you've then searched through for a WordPress hosting site, you've chosen that, so how do we connect the two together? And we're going to learn that in the next part.